Good morning, everybody. It is another beautiful Sunday morning in Arizona, and it is hot outside. And I have started the morning with dealing with some cantaloupe that we had outside that got ripe really fast. So here you can see I am going to flash freeze some of it right here. And then these ones, they got way too mushy right here. So I'm actually going to try to make popsicles out of them and see what cantaloupe popsicles taste like. And those are going to go with that. And then this is all going to go into my compost, which we have to turn today. And then these ones I'm going to put in the refrigerator as they are the right consistency. So we're going to take these over to the juicer. I have a Jack LaLanne's power juicer, and it's worked pretty well for me. I've had it for a couple of years. So when you turn it on, right here on the side, you let it run for a good 10 seconds before you start putting anything into the juicer itself. And in the back end, I always put a baggie in there to collect all of the stems or seeds or whatever to put into my compost so that I don't have to worry about cleaning out that thing. It makes it easier. And then you just feed your stuff through. And then it has this little stick that you push it through with, and then it comes out here. We ended up with 3 cups of that cantaloupe juice. I'm going to fill these things up, and I'm going to have a bunch left over. So let's see what cantaloupe juice tastes like. Cheers. That's interesting. I think I'll put them in ice cube trays and use them in some smoothies. Hey, you guys, hallelujah. Candace just walked in the door so she can record this for me. It's so much easier having 2 people. So you see that little thingy inside that cap? That's what helps you to open this, to open that up. Look at that. They make things easy. So we're gonna take equal parts of this. You guys, I have no idea what I'm doing, but we'll see if it works. What are you doing? We're going to seal that crack on this pot so that it can be used. And mix this with it. This is the tar base. Okay, that should be good because that crack is not that large. Okay, and then we're gonna mix this. Oh, that's my stir stick. Ooh. Okay, you guys, nice gray color there. Nice gray color. Now we're going to take this and put it on here. We're going to open this up as much as I can. First I'm going to put it on there, and then I'm going to try to open it. I am so worried about actually cracking the pot more. trying to actually get it into the crack. This will work. Just like with painting, I make a huge mess.
Sorry, I already got nail polish on it last week.
What'd you get nail polish on?
The table.
Oh. I just couldn't pass up this pot. It was so beautiful, and he was giving it to me for such a good price, you know, and could use all the pots around here I can get. Okay, I think that's going to be good. And then Tom made me a rope here. He's got it all ready for me. So all I have to do is move it up this thing so that it fits all the way up on the top of that crown, and it'll pull all that together so it'll dry nice and tight. Okay, now we're just gonna let this sit here. Another chore done. Woohoo! On to the next one. Okay, this is barrel number 1. This one is totally broken down. As you can see, it's just a nice consistency. Needs to be watered. This one obviously has to be totally broken down. And this one here is ready to go into the other bin mostly. You can see where that's an eggshell, but mostly everything is broken down. So we will start by taking what's broken down here and adding it to that one that is totally broken down. And then we will put and turn this, and then make this the one that needs to be totally broken down. And then this then will become the one that is close to being broken down, and that one will still remain the one that is broken down. As I'm doing this, I like to give it a little bit of water, because when you water from the top, it doesn't always get to everything in the base. You don't want to saturate it though. You do want to just lightly water. And I cleaned out my chicken coop yesterday, so I have a bunch of manure in here that's also going to go into the very base, and that'll help keep that up too. And then I had to pull some of my zucchini that was taking over, or not zucchini, but the Armenian cucumbers that were taking over the apple tree. And I put those in here, and then I did have a couple zucchinis that died off, but I didn't put those in the compost because there were squash bugs on them, and I don't like putting anything with larvae or eggs in my compost. They say you can because the heat will burn it, but I just don't feel safe with it, so I don't do it. And then I have leaves in here, and the worms absolutely love the leaves, and they help everything break down too. And leaves are considered a brown layer because they're dried, dead leaves. And they work great in between the green. But you definitely need to water them down, because they do tend to dry out pretty quickly if you don't. And if you get a thick layer and then you try watering it, it doesn't go through all of them. You can see we're still dealing with very non-broken down things here. Oh, I had something else I had to add in here. I'll be right back. I forgot I went to Starbucks the other day. I treat myself every once in a while, and they always have a bin that has coffee grounds in it, and it's usually empty. But this time there was 4 of them in there. And then Candace also went somewhere to get some coffee, and they had these little things. So anything works. So wherever we can find coffee grounds, we get them, because the garden loves coffee grounds. So you don't want to do too much. So I'll be splitting this up in between these guys. And then I probably won't put any in except for our daily coffee, which I have a little compost container in the house, and that goes in all the time. And you can also take a handful of this and put it around the base of your citrus trees, maybe once a month, and it just helps them green up. They really like it. You can put it in your, if you do vermicomposting, you can put it in there, but you don't want to use too much, because as much as they love the ground, you can always do too much. You want to watch your quantities on what you do. All right, we are back in the kitchen, and our next chore is doing my little starter pots. I've got Dawn dish soap in here with bleach, and I'm going to get these all washed up and sanitized and dried out. I'm getting a buildup of dishes here. I need to get the sink cleaned out so that I can use it. I was also told that to be able to use these over again, you can use magic eraser on these to reuse them. I'm going to try that out and see what happens there. So I'm going to get these out, washed up, rinsed off, and laid out to dry, so that we can do some seed starting today also. Okay, we are back with our next chore of the day, which is getting going on starting some seeds. So as you can see, I've got my pot right here, and I've got my seed starter mix right here. If you've watched previous videos, you see where I do it this way just to make sure that any bacteria is killed, because I have a big bag of the seed starting mix, and any bacteria could get in there. So just to be on the safe side, I always make sure that I sterilize my seed starter mix. And I am going to start, I'm debating on these guys. I don't know that I should start these quite yet. I might wait on these, the squashes and the pumpkins, until July. But we're gonna try a couple more peppers. We have the Death Spiral. We have a Peach Ghost, a Giant Ghost, Cherry Hot Pepper, and then I want to start some tomatoes. I've got the Amish Paste tomato, Raspberry Liana, Pantano Romanesco. I'm not sure on this one, because looking at the pictures, it looks like it has a cracking issue. I'm not sure about that. And let's see, on my small, I'm gonna do the Black Cherry, the Bumblebee, the Cherry Super Sweet 100, that's a hybrid. And back on the bigger ones is the Celebration, the Mortgage Lifter. And this one I got free from Baker Creek. If you order so many seeds, you get free packets. And this is called a striped tomato. So I'm not sure if it's a small tomato or if it's a bigger tomato. So I'm gonna put it in that pile. And then we also have on the peppers a purple cayenne. That sounds interesting. And then on the cherry tomatoes, we have a blueberry. Try that. And then, as you guys know, my tomatillos did not do well, so I'm going to try those on our second round. Hopefully during monsoon season I can get a better harvest on those. So we are trying the Rio Grande again and the Verde, which were the two that I had out there. And then I'm going to try the purple Coban and the plain purple. And then I have one more tomato here that's a slicer called the Brandy Wine Red. I'm going to start 2 of each one of these to see my germination rate. I usually get a pretty good germination rate. I've got a 50 tray going on right here. And I'm going to get my water going here, get this all mixed up. And as I showed once before, you just do so much at a time because you don't want it super moist or wet, but you want it moist. And then I will be loading up my trays and start putting my seeds in. Before I start my seeds, I also need to label all of them so that I don't have to worry about that when I'm trying to do the seeds themselves, because then things get confusing. Okay, we're back for a second. Just a quick update. When you are doing this, you want to make sure, as you can see that steam coming off of there, you want to make sure that your soil is completely cooled before you put it in your seed starting pots and put your seeds in. Hi everybody, we are back. We are in my seed station area. We have all of the seeds that I talked about that we were going to start, that I had gone through with you. The soil is still a little bit moist, but it needs a little bit more moisture. So I use this big Smart Water bottle and I just poked a bunch of holes in the top. And I love this. I just go through here, give it a little squeeze, and it waters all of the pots. Now, once these sprout and they have some roots, I will be doing it from the bottom because I don't like watering from the top. It's more chance of bacteria and disease. And you don't want to soak them, but you want them to be nice and moist. Then I'm going to put my humidity dome on here, just like this. And with those tags on, it doesn't want to stay sticking down, but it'll still keep plenty of humidity in here. And then I'm going to move it over to here. These are my seedling heat mats. They will keep the temperature about 10 degrees higher than what it is right now in the house. So that's good. And then you can keep your lights on or have them off. I have a light that does all three, the blue, the red, and the white, or you can go variation. I usually keep it at the purple when I'm starting my seeds. And then I'm just going to set this here. And I leave my lights on until I get germination. And then once I get germination, I start giving them some dark time. But I always start with the lights, but you don't have to. That's your preference. Especially with the hot peppers, we know I've had problems with those. I have found that having the heat mat and light and the humidity dome all help to germinate the peppers. They've been my problem child. So we're gonna do this, and we have monsoon storms coming in, and I've been working on washing laundry today, and then I have a huge pile that needs to be put away, so I'll be working on my laundry the rest of the afternoon. I thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us, and I hope that we were able to give you something of value. I hope you have a wonderful week next week, and we'll see you then.